Hello to you all from ohmTown, and this is Non Sequitur News for May 20th, 2025. I am Mayor Watt, and I run ohmtown.com, and it is Season 4, Episode 140, and along with the sentient AI from the future, who's not available today, we normally talk about 10 articles. I'm going to talk about 10 articles today as well. Obeelivious. Throne scrolling. Wise monk embezzled millions. Clueless hikers in danger. Business port 5G network. Busy port? Busy port. Mysterious non-terrestrial bacteria. Bird flu threat to cats. A small nuclear reactor. Southwest complicates charging. And reasons for firing. That and maybe a little snark. I don't know. I tend to go through these shows really fast. The Time Machine episodes. That's what this is, because I wasn't available yesterday. Okay, see you on the other side of our intro. Bye-bye. All right, folks, let's get into it. This is the front page of ohmtown.com. You can go and check it out whenever you want to. Sign up, sign in. There's no ads on the site. We are pretty much powered by force of will at this point. Be sure to follow us over on Twitch and on YouTube. Download, subscribe to podcasts, etc., etc. We're everywhere. Discord, Patreon. There's TikTok. I don't know. I tend to only stream, though. So I see you in the chat. I see you in the comments. Come and hang out with me. I would dig your presence there. That would be great. All right, the very first article is on World Bee Day. The bees remained busy and oblivious to threats that endanger their survival. On the 8th annual World Bee Day, around 400,000 bees in urban rooftop hives in Cologne, Germany were busy at work making honey. And then we gobble it all up from them, and they look around. I hear their voices. They're like, what the hell, man? We're making honey here for us, not for you. Why y'all taking our honey? You suck. Anyway, Andrew Zinnin over at phys.org put the article together. The article, it says it's edited by Andrew Zinnin, but it's written by Daniel Neiman, Fanny Broderson, and Michael Probst. So bees and other pollinators have been on the decline for years, and experts blame a combination of factors like insecticides, parasites, disease, climate change, lack of diverse food supply. A significant part of the human diet comes from plants pollinated by bees, not just honeybees, but hundreds of species of lesser-known wild bees, many of which are endangered. Yeah, so we all know about European honeybees, particularly in the United States. They are not indigenous to the United States. Yeah, they were brought over, but now they're a dominant force. So in 2018, the UN General Assembly sponsored the first World Bee Day. You should be amazing and support your beehive or bee manifesto supporters. I don't know what you want to call anybody who supports bees. I used to be really worried about bees. I have an supposedly I had an allergy to them, but I don't know anymore, because a doctor said that the treatment that I went through was bunk. Anyway, in Germany, where bees contribute 2 billion euro or 2.3 US dollars, freedom units, as they say. I'm watching Helldivers 2, a gameplay, a little too much. Ended up buying Helldivers 2, but I'm a solo player, so I'm going to do ghost diving and spread democracy as a ghost diver. Wish me luck. But anyway, on Tuesday, around 400,000 bees in Europe rooftop hives in western city of Cologne, where the yellow fields flower, it says where the yellow fields flower, we're busy at work making money. No, honey. I mean, money. Yeah. They seemed oblivious to the threats that endanger their survival, and scientists and bee experts like Matthias Roth, chairman of the Cologne Beekeepers Association, hope World Bee Day can raise awareness. Honestly, I don't follow every day, but Bee Day, I think I'll probably start making special amends to support our bees. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article is a decidedly different angle. Over in the Mobile channel, it's aggregated into there from Vice.com. Toilet scrolling is hurting your butt. I said throne scrolling because I think that sounds better. People used to kill time on the toilet by reading magazines or reading every ingredient list on a bottle of shampoo. Now, in this brave new world that we live in, we have smartphones and the world's knowledge at your fingertips, as I say when I give speeches about science, technology, and society. Yeah, we have smartphones. We can reach everything. Should we sit on the throne and read? But you can game, browse, read, doom scroll as we poop. Anyway, the article is suggesting that toilet scrolling is hurting your butt. Louis Prada over at Vice.com put the article together. The researchers found, after a survey of 125 people who were all about to get colonoscopies, they found that 93% of them admitted to using their phones on the toilet at least once a week. Nearly half were reading the news, 44% were on social, and 30% were emailing or texting. And they found that those who used the phones were 46% more likely to have hemorrhoids. Yes, the ninth planet, as I call them. I've never said that before in my life, but that's what I'm going to call it now. Anyway, didn't matter how old you were, how much fiber you ate, or whether they worked out. The common denominator is that they all became hypnotized by their phones while paying homage to the porcelain god. Moving on. Speaking of wise actions, how about a Buddhist monk who embezzled $9 million for online baccarat? Apparently gets karma. I think karma can't be created or destroyed. It only changes shape, right? Form. So karma is karma, I guess. I don't know. The Buddhist abbot at one of Thailand's most prominent temples has been arrested on suspicion of embezzling the equivalent of more than $9 million US from the religious site. Wow. Apparently defrocked abbot is getting walked out, and the broker arrested. Apparently, police have also arrested a woman who is alleged to have acted as a gambling broker for the accused. They were previously detained last year for alleged involvement in an illegal online gambling website called La Galaxy 911 and was later released on bail, according to the Bangkok Post. She's believed to be linked to 3 companies that had laundered money through the website. The article comes from casino.org, and Philip Connoller has all of the pictures and it has the receipts, so to say. Some local news outlets were reporting that they had been disrobed, which isn't uncommon for Buddhist monks who have been accused of criminal behavior. I guess it's like a defrocking. As such, they use their lay name in reporting, not their Buddhist name, I guess, was the man's monastic name, which he would have adopted at ordination. So the now defrocked person turned himself in last Thursday when he learned of his impending arrest. So I guess he says this arrest is to help purify our religion, says the commissioner, the Royal Thai Police Deputy Commissioner, which to me it's troubling, but all right. Different strokes for different folks. Let's go on to the next article. Non-Sequitur News is where it was aggregated to. It comes from Futurity, I think it is. AI chatbots are putting clueless hikers in danger. Search and rescue groups warn 2 hikers trying to tackle unnecessary mountain near Vancouver, British Columbia had to call in a rescue team. After they stumbled into snow, the pair were only wearing flat-soled sneakers, unaware that the higher altitudes of the mountain only some 15 degrees of latitude south of the Arctic Circle might still be snowy in the spring. Really? Said they ended up going up there with boots for them, said Brent Kalkin, leader of the Lions Bay Search and Rescue Team. The article again is over at futurism.com under the Wrong Trail category. Frank Landemore put the article together. The picture does not really support the idea that they were rescued. It's a person in a snowsuit and mittens, red mittens, face down in half body depth snow, snow like that deep. Anyway, turns out that their plan was a ill-fated expedition. The hikers heedlessly followed the advice given to them by Google Maps and the AI chatbot ChatGPT that says, YOLO, yo, no snow, go. The next article is over in Non-Sequitur News. A busy port's new 5G network can help cargo ships, which aren't apparently arriving in Western ports, stay connected to the mainland 100 miles away. More than 2,500 ships pass through the free port of Riga every year. The port is rolling out a 5G network to power technology like autonomous sea drones. The article is in the Build It Connectivity series about tech powering better business. The article's over at Business Insider. Freya Graham put the article together. And so, today the harbor in the Latvian capital is still a bustling port, although cargo ships and autonomous drones have replaced the sails and oars. It was designated a free port or free trade zone in 2001, which means that the businesses using the port may be exempt from certain taxes and tariffs. More than 2,500 ships passed through that harbor in 2024. The remote and autonomous technologies require a fast, reliable connection, so now they are rolling out a 5G cellular network that used to rely on Wi-Fi 4G to connect ships and drones. But in 2022, the port teamed up with LMT, a Latvian telecom company, to roll out 5G connections across the port. Good for them. Pretty cool. The next article is over in Non-Sequitur News. Remember, non-sequitur just means that it isn't really connected to anything, doesn't follow a formal logic. And the website basically is a cacophony of news. News that you can use. It's trivia without the game. Something interesting that I read today. I think that maybe you're interested in it too. So come with me to ohmTown and visit a street called Non-Sequitur News. All right, so samples taken from the mysterious bacteria not found on Earth are growing on China's space station. Samples taken from China's Tiangong space station contained a new mysterious microbe that hasn't been seen on Earth. A recent paper published in the International Journal of Systematic and Evolutionary Microbiology revealed the microbe named Nealia tiangensis. It was named after the space station from where it's never been seen before, a strain of a Earth-borne bacteria especially adapted to off-planet life. So it's a never-before-seen strain of an Earth-bound bacteria, but it says mysterious bacteria not found on Earth. It's actually on Earth, from Earth. It just happens to have mutated into whatever it is today. And now we're going to bring it back. Yeah, bad bat syndrome here. According to the research, which was conducted by a team of scientists from the Shenzhou Space Biotechnology Group and Beijing Institute of Spacecraft System Engineering, the new microbe has evolved to withstand oxidative stress and heal from radiation damage. Quick, inject it in astronauts so that we can see if it makes them Dr. Doom. The article is actually over at The Bite. It's a subcategory over at futurism.com. Maggie Harrison Dupre put the article together. It's unclear whether the bacteria pose any threat to astronauts on board the space station, and the related strains are generally considered unpathogenic, though as Science Alert notes, one of the earthly cousins of this type is can cause sepsis in immunocompromised patients. So if anybody is immunocompromised, stay away from astronauts and from recently re-arriving astronauts and spacecraft and aliens. Stay away from aliens. Let's move on. The next article is over in Technology Today. Bird flu is now killing cats at a 90% fatality rate because they don't have any immune system for this. They were never designed to fight off bird flu. Anyway, experts warn that it could jump to humans. The first major global review of bird flu in cats reveals an emerging threat of a potential human pandemic. Spring is here, birds are on the move, and a new threat is spreading alongside them: bird flu, H5N1. The virus is changing fast and could be on the path to becoming a human pandemic. The article is over at Science Tech Daily. University of Maryland put the article together. They've got an image of a doctor with a stethoscope pressed up against a rooster. Man, that sets me up for a lot of comments, but I'll fight the urge. I'll fight the urge. All right. Anyway, looking at data from 2004 to 2024, researchers uncovered 607 cases of bird flu in cats around the world, including 302 deaths. These cases spanned 18 countries, involved 12 different types of cats, from household pets to big cats like tigers. And despite the growing threat, cats are not routinely tested. Why are they saying 90% at a 90% fatality rate if 607 cases of bird flu in cats resulted in 302 deaths? That's 50%. Hold on. The most deadly strain of bird flu is highly infectious and makes up the majority of cases in domestic cats, with a current 90% case fatality rate. The most deadly strain of bird flu. So that's what they chose, to grab that 90% out of that? But how many of those cats have the most deadly strain? What is the most deadly strain? H5N1? Well, that's a ratio of how many people die to it. So what? I don't understand. Somebody explain it. In humans, bird flu is slightly less deadly, but it has still killed around half of the 950 people it had infected. So that's part and parcel to the 607 deaths, or 607 cases of bird flu in cats around the world. This is a lot for nothing. So yes, there is a chance that it can hop to humans, and I've got 3 Savannah cats, so I'm kind of worried about it. Although they don't go out and hang out with people, and they don't go after birds, but anyway. So our future research will involve studies to determine the prevalence of HPAI. All right, let's keep on going, though. The next article is over in Technology Today. The first U.S. utility seeks permit for a small nuclear reactor. For the first time in the United States, a utility is asking federal regulators for a permit to build a small nuclear reactor. I don't have one. So Jennifer McDermott over at Tech Explorer put this article together. The nation's largest power company, the Tennessee Valley Authority, announced Tuesday that it submitted a construction permit application for the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, or U.S. NRC, for a small modular nuclear reactor it wants to develop next-generation nuclear power at Oak Ridge, Tennessee, at its Clinch River site. TVA President and CEO Don Moule said that by going first, they can show other utilities a way to accelerate the development of small nuclear reactors. I mean, we're just way beyond using, coal and other systems. And to me, solar, geothermal, hydro are not defensible. A small weapon can take all of that out easily. Flechette rounds, a BB gun can take out solar arrays. I just don't have any security in the renewable energy sources, except for nuclear, if we can get it right. And the only way to get it right is to do research to fundamentally understand it. So the federally owned utility provides electricity to 7 states and operates 3 traditional large nuclear power plants, which provide 40% of Tennessee Valley's power. The region's population is growing, industries are replacing fossil fuels with electric alternatives, and there's more manufacturing. So the TVA expects to need up to 26 gigawatts of power by 2035, enough to power roughly 15 million homes, to meet the growing demand for electricity and replace retiring power plants. I agree. So how are they going to fund it? I'm sure they'll increase rates. So the next article is over in Non-Sequitur News. Charging your device on a Southwest flight is about to get more complicated. Southwest has started warning passengers about the use of power banks on flights. It's set to introduce a new safety policy next week. The change comes after Air Busan flight caught fire when a power bank overheated in January. So Southwest Airlines is restricting the use of power banks due to the risk of them catching fire during flights. How much more complex? Well, using portable charging banks while stored in a bag or overhead bin will no longer be permitted. Nothing is more important than Southwest than the safety of its customers and employees. So since last week, passengers checking in for their flight will receive a pop-up notification that warn about portable charging devices. The devices are powered by lithium batteries that can overheat and catch fire, and in rare cases, keeping the device in plain sight makes it easier for flight attendants to identify any smoke or fire and react quickly to extinguish it. There have been other suspected cases and disruptions just by the risk of overheating. In fact, there was a tablet that got wedged between the armrest and the seat in a first class section. And they actually diverted the plane just recently. So last year, the FAA recorded about 3 incidents every 2 weeks, compared to fewer than 1 a week in 2018, and 9 confirmed incidents in this year so far. Let's keep going. The next article and the last one for today's Non-Sequitur News is in the Mobile Channel. Ex-Foo Fighters drummer Josh Freese has a hilarious list of reasons for his firing. The article is over at Vice.com. 2 years after making... Stephen Andrew Gallagher. Maybe Steven. I don't know how they pronounce their name. Put this article together. It says, in an Instagram post on May 16th, Freese revealed the news, writing, "The Foo Fighters called me Monday night to let me know they've decided to go in a different direction with their drummer. No reason was given, so they came up with their own. Regardless, they enjoyed the last 2 years with them, both on and off stage, and support whatever they feel is best for the band. In their 40 years of drumming, they've never been let go from a band. So while they're not angry, just a bit shocked and disappointed." That's the dad response. I'm not angry. I'm just shocked and disappointed. But as you know, they say that they've always worked freelance and bounced between bands, so they're fine. And then he concluded by saying, stay tuned for my top 10 possible reasons that Josh got booted from the Foo Fighters. So 10, once whistled my hero for a week solid on tour. Could only name one Fugazi song, 2 words, polyrhythms. Number 7 is metronome-like precision behind the kit, deemed soulless. Number 6 is demanded starting every rehearsal with a 20-minute cowbell sound bath. A 20-minute cowbell sound bath. Okay. Never even once tried growing a beard. Didn't show up to studio because Mercury was in retrograde. Promised Noodles, the offspring. He could be 4th guitarist. Refused to perform unless he was guaranteed a Ouija board and nunchucks after every show. And number 1, the whole poodle thing was getting to be a bit much. Dun dun dun. Well, anyway, that's it for today's Non-Sequitur News. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show. See you in a little bit. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.